It is a beautiful day, and we have a beautiful bunkhouse to go with it. A 304 BH Cherokee at 8,180 pounds to be exact, here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Very high level, smart equipment package, and one of the best outside kitchens I've ever seen. Triple slide bunkhouse with an island kitchen, a shower up next to mom and dad's room instead of a tub next to the kids' room, and actually sleeping for 5 in the bunk room. Not just 4 individual sleeping spaces, but room for 5 kids makes this a pretty standout offering. So, quick look with the slides closed reveals we can access basically the sofa, and that's about it. This big triple slide island kitchen bunkhouse beauty, this is made for destination use, not travel use. So let's get it opened up and see how she's intended to be used. And the opposing slide outs give this one that big open living room feel that I think you're going to want when you have a big family, which chances are in a big bunkhouse you do. And the kitchen slide gives you the ability to have more prep space and a great size pantry. The pantry setup on this, you could say, is kind of split, but we'll get back to that in just a minute. First thing I want to do is just kind of point out the fact that we naturally have central air, LED lights, centrally ducted heating, all the things you expect out of a big RV like this. But there's some really key clutch points here in the kitchen slide that I want to zoom in on. The first is the fact that they don't jam a microwave into the top of the kitchen slide. Instead, what that creates is a bigger cross breeze window, a larger feeling RV with more light. And by the way, have you noticed, compared to the previous generation, the all-new updated decor that they have going on here, lighter, brighter, far more modern in appearance, far less classic and rustic, I guess you could say. Cherokee decided to really get modern. Now, being a constructed trailer as opposed to a laminated trailer, it allows them to put kitchen outlets in really intelligent points. Like, you notice how you have one above the microwave, on top of the counter, right below the window right there. Appliance cords keep getting shorter, and having that right there is useful. Now we have pressed membrane countertops, a recessed sink and stove to maximize prep area. We do maintain a full oven. Plus we have that beautiful stainless microwave, but again, mounted down low, where it's less obstructive visually, allows for that bigger kitchen breeze window, and it's also easier for the kids to get to. Now the stove has these neat little blue backlit LED knobs. You can turn them off if you're not really interested in that, but you know, they're neat at nighttime. Plus, I don't know, maybe you think they look cool. And I love the fact that they didn't waste anything. They gave you a full drawer right there below the oven. But really, that is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to storage in the 304 Cherokee at Haylett RV. Because from here, we can zoom in on one of the things that the Cherokee and Grey Wolf family does very well, and that is give you a big, deep, expansive pantry. And I love how wide it is with just a real door, just a normal door to get to the pantry, instead of cabinet doors and like toothpick doors where you have to go like elbow deep to get into anything, or armpit deep maybe in some cases. Now, you've got more of that pressed membrane counter stuff here in the island, but you also have more of those intelligently located power outlets, so you can run your appliances and your phone chargers. And again, you don't have to have long cords dangling everywhere. Now, the sink cover is recessed in Mary's, that'll go in the blooper reel. Mary's right up nicely with the main countertop, but you can see it hides that beautiful stainless sink. And if I slide this back, you see it's actually a very home-style skirted sink. It has such a beautiful look to it. And once again, it's another one of those high-class features and what people will often expect to be more of an entry-class camper. But this is more of like an advanced user. You know, this is a sharp trailer. For people who have the towing capacity, we're like, well, I don't need to get an ultralight. Well, you can save a ton of money on the same floor plan with the same equipment in a Cherokee 304 BH versus some of these laminated jobs. Now, we saw the one big drawer under the oven, but you are not hurting for drawer space. And I love the fact that the bottom 2 drawers are extra large. Very handy for those annoying spatulas that always like to block the drawer from opening. Plus, we've got plenty of room down here for a wastebasket. Oh, and by the way, let's go ahead and just double our drawer space in the island while we're at it. That's what this one offers. And oh, by the way, how about we have 40-inch plywood boxed full extension drawers on both sides of the dinette? So that, it doesn't matter if someone's sleeping there, eating there, even if no one's there. It is so much easier to be able to get into this dinette rather than have to flip everything up out of the way. It's just, life is a lot simpler when you have those big drawers. But it's something that just not a lot of brands are offering in a class and segment like this. Now, before we zip into the bunk room, I want to look at something real quick here in the slide out, and that's this little set of USB plugs. So first of all, they're 12 volt powered, so I'm just on a battery. I'm not hooked up to anything right now, and you can see how the little light's on. So if you are boondocking, it's very easy to keep your devices all charged up, which is another thing I like about the LED lights. And I still talk about LED, people are like, every camper has LED lights now. Why do you keep talking about it? And the answer is because no, they don't. Especially a wood skeleton class like this, there's still some dirt cheap stuff out there using incandescents and using very few of them, and they'll make your camper hotter and suck your battery dry faster. You don't have that here. But back to the USB plugs. The reason I wanted to make note of that is because you will find that anywhere you sit and sleep in a Cherokee, everything has its own set of USB plugs. So on a rainy day, when you need to convert this into an extended living space like I've done right here, so that the kids have their own private room in the back, which in reality we all know is actually mom and dad's sanity rooms, because you can just kind of toss the kids back here, shut the door, and let them entertain themselves a little bit, just pretend that everything's okay. I'm not saying you have bad kids, I'm not saying I do, I'm just making light of the situation. Too many people take things too seriously. Anyway, point is, you get space back here where the kids can keep themselves entertained on a rainy day, but you're also going to enjoy a maximum amount of sleeping space in this bunkhouse. Remember, it's got 4 beds, but room for 5 people. So how do they accomplish such a mystical feat? Well, the answer starts up here. We start with 1 sleeping space in that fold-down overhead bed. Now, right here, we've got a pair of these converter cubes that can fold out into, basically, together, it's roughly the size of a king bed. Now, I don't normally leave the cushions like this, but I kind of thought about it. And I described this a second ago as mom and dad's sanity space. What if you need kids to have a little separation from one another? Well, you could use 1 or 2 of those cubes to just kind of have a blocker between them. And maybe they would bounce it back and forth between each other. Maybe that wouldn't work, but I don't know. It was just an idea I had. And if it works, neat. If it doesn't, don't do it. Just thought I'd throw that concept out there. But here's really the kicker. It's not the overhead bunk. By the way, I love that big window. Holy cow, does that give you just a flood of light and airflow back here. It's not just this bigger bunk back here. This is what I call a big kid bunk. It's 50% wider, which is partially why it has that overhang over the lower bunk. And by the way, if you are interested, against the rear wall there are TV hookups. But behind the outside kitchen, on the inside of the RV that we're looking at currently, you gain an additional bunk down here. So it is a true quad bunk, but with sleeping for 5 due to the ability to sleep 2 people on that converted cube little futon job. But what's neat is the bonus little storage chest that you get back here below that lower bunk. It just kind of flips up out of the way. And by the way, look at like down in here. You can see that they're using like plywood boxing construction on things that, generally speaking, no person's going to see. Yeah, and it's that kind of extra things that Cherokee's doing here that really impress me. Like we're walking on 5/8 tongue and groove plywood, by the way. That's the floor decking material. Also, not only do we have that little storage chest and a big window, we've got a dedicated closet for the kids and some decent dresser space for the kids, because we all know, anyone who's camped with kids is, man, they take up space. Am I right? It is very, very handy to have storage space dedicated in the bunk area for them. Now, by the way, more of those handy appliance outlets right there where we want them. Remember how in the kitchen I referred to the pantry as the primary pantry? Well, right next to that entry door, you have a second totally legitimate pantry. That's the kind of pantry you get out of most campers. Cherokee just gave you one that's already 3 times the cubic capacity, if not more, of that one. So you have 2 legit pantries in here for tons of dry storage. Pardon me. And you also have really good entertainment options in this should you choose to add a TV to it. That wall is angled inward so that it organically faces anywhere in the super slide. It does have a Bluetooth stereo system down there. That little square box below the TV hookup is a Furrion Bluetooth stereo with an HDMI and auxiliary input. So if you do want to add on, like this floor plan is very good for like those streaming sticks, those Chromecast sticks or whatever, since it doesn't really have a dedicated shelf right there, but it would not be hard to just kind of zip a little access hole through one of those cabinets to add like a little satellite brain. And doing little stuff like that doesn't hurt your camper, doesn't affect your warranty. That's a 0 issue. We'll do that for you here at Haylett RV before you leave if you want us to, no sweat. But it also really kind of directly faces a very sort of cinema style sofa with that folding armrest right there in the middle section. You can fold it up out of the way if you don't want it there. But what's nice is the cup holders that it gives you, because it's actually really uncommon to have easy cup holder access in a in a sofa in a wood skeleton constructed camper. It's just for some reason one of those things most brands don't consider or do. And if that private bunkhouse isn't quite enough sleeping space, over here in the Super Slide, we've got that traditional bifold sleeper sofa you can fold down, but then you've got this big U-dinette here that could be adult-sized if need be. So, I mean, you can really rack them and stack them into this thing. You could put 3 kids, maybe an adult and a kid here in the Super Slide seating if you need to. Now, just to give you an idea, we do have privacy shades on these extra large Super Slide windows. We kind of saw the breeze through, and you can see the vertical beam behind that shade. They are max size full breeze windows. You can get some really incredible airflow through here, especially if you open the big kitchen breeze window we already saw and then utilize your main screen door, as well as things like the fan up here. Now you notice that the skylight also has a shade itself, so that if it is a hot day or you're trying to keep that sun out of your eyes, you can really kind of blot out the sun. I would say nosy neighbors, but that's more of a side window thing. If you've got nosy neighbors on the roof, you've got way, way bigger problems. Now, kind of like you've got the same like blue LED sort of nightlight knobs. You don't have to use them. It's here if you want it. But this little blue LED accent above the Super Slide, it gives you that sort of evening sort of guidance light, you know, air traffic controller light, so you can see what you're doing in the afternoons. Now over here in the bathroom, I want to begin with the fact that we've got an easy dual entry bathroom you can get to from either side, with plenty of legroom in front of that foot flush stool. You also have something that's more of a standout feature in this class and category, and that's the larger Max Air vent fan to give you some superior airflow here, and that's capable of providing whole house airflow. Very powerful in conjunction with those big windows. Extra large vanity and sink are other highlights that are very common throughout the Cherokee and Grey Wolf family. Then we've got this nicer, bigger radius corner shower. And this is what's cool, guys, is it's a bunkhouse with a shower, not a tub. I think that's one of the many, many reasons that this one has continued to bloom in popularity. Now up front here, if you are interested in TV in the bedroom, you can hook one up against the wall over there, maybe mount it on a swing arm and point it down toward the bed when you're ready for it. Of course, you'll have privacy shades here in the bedroom as well. I just have the windows open for give you that sense of light and space. Uh-oh, somebody pulled my power box for me. I'll have to zip out, and we're almost done. I'll just keep on rolling. We're gonna roll with it. Anyway, dual side stands with USB plugs on both sides of the bed. Not just one side, but both. And that's another one of those things that even in laminated product, you don't often find that nowadays. Some really smart, really sharp, well-appointed brands like Freedom Expresses have started doing that. But Cherokee's been doing it for about a year and a half before everybody else. These guys are really good at doing everything that matters where it matters. I love the headboard accent wall right there. You do have dual reading lights right above those pillows. But again, someone was kind enough to pull the power on us right now, so we'll never mind that. But we do have this huge viewing window on the door side of the RV, so if you are taking kind of a midday break or in the morning if the kids are up before you and you hear one of them screaming bloody murder from the campsite, which, you know, we've all been woken up to that heart attack, am I right? Anybody with kids? Nothing was worse than when I was a new dad. Your kid would just cough funny and you're like, ah! But, you know, you get over it. By the second kid, you're like, they'll probably live, you know. So, I think I'm just rambling at this point. You get the idea. You wake up in the morning if you hear a noise, or at night if you hear a noise, you can keep it a better eye on your campsite. And I tell you what, it's not textured. This wall panel is not textured, but boy does it have the look, doesn't it? Man, I gotta tell you, I'm glad I came to work today. That sounds crazy, but this is beautiful weather to be shooting videos in. This is just comfortable, nice light breeze rolling through. Just perfect camping weather. The kind of weather where if you want to wear shorts, you can. You want to wear jeans, you can. You want to wear pajama pants outside, some people, you can. We'll probably see you at Walmart later. If, you know, you want to wear a jacket, whatever, you get the point. Well, this video is not about the weather. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. What a good shot at the new updated exterior on this Cherokee. So, it's very obvious that there's been a generational change when they moved away from the brown and red stripe to this beautiful like platinums and graphites and like navy stripe generation. This is so sharp, modern. I know that not everything pleases 100% of people, but I know that this will please more people. This is very good looking. Now, we do tend to build these with enclosed holding tanks. Very common find here in the Midwest. What is neat, though, you always have an outside utility shower right here in all of your Cherokees. What's also kind of cool is over next to your dump station, you have this very bright evening courtesy light, and it's on a separate switch, which is smart, so that you can turn it on exactly when you want it and turn it off when you don't. Because bright evening lights is actually the #1 complaint at any campground, with noise being a very close second. Now, it's under the slide out, so it's not a good place to be able to see it right here. But these Cherokees all ride on some really slick-looking mag wheels, and along with, again, that new updated sort of graphite and platinum exterior color generation we're looking at, they look awesome. Another neat thing on those wheels is they have tire pressure indicating valve stems. So if the tire pressure drops below the appropriate level, it'll flip from green to red at a glance. So before you even leave on your big family adventure, you can make sure you don't have a blowout. Just due to bad tire pressure, which is the #1 cause of flat. So isn't that nice? They helped you to eliminate that sort of concern. It does have a fully walkable roof. Let's wrap down some construction real quick. We have a 3/8 fully walkable roof deck with 5-inch vaulted trusses. Industry leading average of 12-inch on-center wall studs. Some are a little closer, some further, but 16 inches on average is pretty common. So that's an area where they put a little extra meat on the bones. Probably why we've seen such good records out of these lately. They're just a little more sound structurally. They could be lighter weight if they didn't do that. They could be less expensive. But they also wanted to be a better RV. And I think that they're accomplishing that. And the fact that they're the #1 selling trailer at Forest River is testament to that. We are ready for a backup. Oh, I didn't finish construction, sorry. 5/8 tongue and groove plywood floor decking on top of 2x3 studs every 12 inches on center, running the length of the trailer. We do have this 200-pound rated cargo rack. That is before the spare tire, by the way. I keep forgetting to find out how much that spare tire weighs, so I know how much you actually have allowance on that, or take the tire off and get the full 200. You also are ready for a backup camera, so if this big long rig, you want some help spotting it in when you are parking it, you can get a little wireless monitor to keep right up in the dash of your vehicle to be able to see what's behind you when you're pulling in. Now, another neat thing on the 304 BH is all the patio shade you get between the oversized outside kitchen door and, hey, you know, the actual patio awning itself. So, first of all, let's take a second to really appreciate this outside kitchen, because holy crap does Cherokee do one that is just really next level. Let's start with the giant elephant in the room, and that is the 5.7 cubic foot side-by-side fridge and freezer. So in conjunction with the 6 cubic fridge inside, this RV basically has the cold storage capacity of a Montana high country luxury fifth wheel, in what people would often want to refer to as entry level. I think that this is certainly advanced level at this stage. We've got a legitimate ice maker, and the people who have owned these, the response that we've heard is, yeah, basically it'll keep up with about as much ice as you're ever going to need. So the response has been really good from the people who have already taken one home. A real sink with a real drain, galvanized rolled steel countertops to be far more weather resistant, and I love that they kept that trend not just on the countertop but through the drawer and the outside kitchen fascia as well. And hey, little handy 2-burner outside stovetop so you can do a little cooking. Now we've got power and TV hookups right here next to those outside TV mounts on the slide face. And now the awning here, it kind of spooks some people whenever the slide is in, well, when a slide is under the awning. So that's why I wanted to kind of pop it out, let you take a look, so that you can see that, yes, unequivocally, there is plenty of room down here for a picnic table, some lawn chairs, whatever. You know, you are not going to kill your campsite space. Now, both below the awning and over here behind these speakers, this is a blue backlight LED system, and it's one of those things where, again, the updated decor package inside and outside here, it all just sort of meshes nicely. It works together nicely now. You know, like the LED lighting up here, everything just looks really good. Now, Cherokee was really about the first in its class to standardize that really aggressive anti-slam door. And in a bunk model like this where you got kids coming and going, what's also nice about it is it means that that sharp corner down there, it's further away from the kids and it will tend to just hold itself there. And using that nicer, more ride step above system here, once again, they were about a year ahead of everybody else doing something like that, with another superior feature offering superior comfort and benefit to the users. What's nice about this, with a bunch of kids coming and going, and chances are with a big bunkhouse like this, again, you got kids coming and going, it will keep the camper from rocking and rolling around as they bounce in and out. And those adjustable foot pegs, they're the ones doing all the holding, all the heavy lifting basically, so that the trailer isn't getting bounced around. Now, it seems odd to have your black tank flush in this area of the RV, but if you remember, on the inside of the RV, this is where your bathroom's located, so this gives you the most direct shot to the black tank so that the flush actually does its job. And we have an outside grill quick connect over here right next to the awning, but not under the awning, because there's a lot of people who don't like any sort of smoke or grease or whatever being under their awning. Now, we've got a large front storage compartment, and going along with that is a simple side mount solar prep plug right there. So if you want to slide out a solar panel, plug it in, keep the batteries topped off in the sun, you're good to go. And just give you a quick look down here. But one of the things I like to point out while we're down here is how on any like exposed wood in this area, Cherokee applies this really heavy application of an anti-wicking treatment, so that if like a baggage door is dribbling in the morning or something like that, or on a drizzly day, it doesn't cause any problems. Now, up top here, we've got one of our quality control agents, Mr. Jody, giving her a quick surface inspection, cheesing it up for the camera. I love it. You know, if he does a good job, ladies and gentlemen, it's because I taught him well. If he does poorly, it's because he's a terrible student. Hey-o! Anyway. But we do surface inspections on everything before we pulled into the shop and do a full burn, before you take it home. And before you take it home again, we actually pull everything in the shop and do a second full burn. So we've done everything we reasonably can to make sure that this is a good quality product that is going to, you know, be satisfactory for you and your family. Now, we've got an extra thick aluminum nose skin up here, that the whole nose is basically acting like a stone deflector, and that's one of those things that people don't realize. It's aluminum, and a lot of people see aluminum noses, but Cherokee's makes theirs extra thick, and that's the kind of stuff I can share with you in this video that a still photo can't provide. Little stuff like the power awning, the power tongue jack, it makes camp life simple and easy. The power awning has an auto rain dump feature, it has tilt adjust arms, all kinds of good stuff. So whether it's hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, RV inspection, and everything in between, we do it all here at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, happy camping, everyone. And Jody, don't jump!